There was a moment Barack Obama talked about in one of his books. He was young, maybe in college. A friend asked him if he had read a certain book. Obama said yes, but he had not read it. He only knew a little about it. He wanted to sound smart. He wanted to fit in. So he lied. It was a small lie. Nobody got hurt. His friend believed him. They kept talking, and Obama forgot about it. But years later, he remembered. He said that small lie stayed with him. Not because it was big, but because it was so easy. That is how lying starts. It feels small, it feels safe, but it leaves something behind. When we lie, we think about the moment. We think about right now. We do not want to feel embarrassed. We do not want someone to be angry. We do not want to admit we made a mistake. So we say something that is not true. And most of the time, nothing bad happens right away. The other person believes us. We move on. We feel relieved. But inside, something changes. We know we lied, and the other person does not know. Now there is a space between us. A small space. They think one thing. We know another thing. That space is where trust begins to break. Obama once said that trust is not built in one big moment. It is built in 1,000 small moments. When you say you will call, and you call. When you say you will be there, front you are there. When you make a promise, and you keep it. These small things add up. They become a foundation, but lies work the same way. One small lie does not destroy trust, but it makes a crack. And if we keep lying, even in small ways, the cracks grow. After a while, the foundation is weak. And when something big happens, it breaks. Let me give you an example. Imagine a mother asks her son if he finished his homework. He says yes, but he did not. He wants to play a game. He thinks, I will do it later. She believes him. She smiles. She trusts him, but he knows he lied. The next day, she asks again. He says yes again. Another lie. This happens many times. Then one day, the teacher calls. The son has not done his homework for weeks. The mother is shocked. She feels hurt, not just because of the homework, but because he lied to her so many times. Now when he says anything, she wonders, is this true? That is what lies do. They make people question everything. Obama grew up without his father. His father lived far away. Sometimes his father would write letters. He would make promises. He would say, I will visit soon. I will send money. I will be there for you. But most of the time, those promises did not come true. Obama learned something from that. He learned that words without action mean nothing. He learned that trust is not about what you say. It is about what you do. And when someone keeps breaking their word, you stop believing them. Even if they are your parent. Even if you love them. The trust is gone. This happens in many relationships. Between parents and children. Between friends. Between coworkers. Between partners. Someone says, I will change. But they do not change. Someone says, I am sorry. But they do the same thing again. Someone says, trust me. But their actions show something else. Over time, the words become empty. And the person listening stops hoping. They protect themselves. They stop trusting. And once trust is gone, it is very hard to bring it back. There is another kind of lie that Obama talked about. It is not lying to others. It is lying to yourself. This is maybe the most dangerous kind. Because if you cannot be honest with yourself, you cannot be honest with anyone. Let me explain. Sometimes we know we are not doing our best. We know we are avoiding something. We know we made a mistake. But we tell ourselves a story. We say, it is not my fault. We say, I had no choice. We say, everyone does this. We convince ourselves. And because we believe our own lie, we do not change. We stay stuck. Obama said that when he was younger, he sometimes avoided hard truths about himself. He did not want to see his own mistakes. It was easier to blame other people. It was easier to make excuses. But he learned that growth only happens when you are honest with yourself. When you look at your life and say, yes, I did that. Yes, I made that choice. Yes, I can do better. That honesty is hard. It feels uncomfortable. But it is the only way forward. Think about a person who always arrives late. They say, traffic was bad. The alarm did not work. Something came up. And maybe sometimes that is true. But if it happens every time, the problem is not traffic. The problem is the person. But if they keep lying to themselves, they never fix it. They never leave earlier. They never plan better. They just keep making excuses. And the people around them stop trusting. They stop inviting that person to important things. Because they know that person will be late. And that person wonders, why do people not respect me? But they do not see the truth. They are lying to themselves. There is a quiet pain that comes with lying. Even when no one finds out. Even when the lie works. Because you know. You carry it with you. Obama once described this feeling. He said that when you lie, you lose a little bit of yourself. You lose respect for yourself. Because deep down, you know you are not being who you want to be. You know you are choosing the easy way instead of the right way. And that feeling builds up. It makes you feel tired. It makes you feel disconnected. Not just from others, but from yourself. I want to tell you about something that happens in families. A father works long hours. He is tired. His daughter asks, "Can we go to the park this weekend?" He says, "Yes, of course." But he does not really plan to go. He just does not want to disappoint her right now. The weekend comes. He says, "I am too tired. Maybe next time." This happens again and again. The daughter stops asking. She learns that his yes does not mean yes. She learns not to trust his promises. And when she grows up, she might have trouble trusting other people too. Because trust is something we learn early. If the people we love most teach us that words do not matter, we carry that lesson with us. Obama talked about this with his own daughters. He said that being a father taught him the importance of keeping small promises. Because children remember, not just the big things, the small things too. If you say you will read a bedtime story, you read it. If you say you will come to the school play, you go. These things seem small, but they are not small to a child. They are everything. They teach the child, my parent's word matters. My parent keeps promises. I can trust them. And that trust becomes a safe place. A place the child can return to when life gets hard. But what happens when we break trust? Can it be fixed? Obama believed it can. But it takes time. And it takes action. Not just words. If you lied to someone, saying sorry is not enough. You have to show change. You have to prove, over time, that you are different now. You have to rebuild those small moments. One by one. And the other person has to be willing to give you a chance. But even then, the crack is still there. It is like a broken bone. It can heal, but it is never exactly the same. There is something interesting Obama noticed about dishonesty in politics. He said that in Washington, many people bend the truth. They do not lie completely. But they shade things. They leave out important parts. They say things that sound good but mean nothing. And people get used to it. They expect it. They stop trusting politicians. They stop believing anything they hear. And that is dangerous. Because when trust in leaders is gone, society breaks down. People feel alone. They feel like no one is on their side. And that fear and anger grow. This happens in smaller communities too. In workplaces, in schools, in families. When leaders or parents or teachers are not honest, people stop believing in the system. They protect themselves. They become cynical. They think, everyone lies, so why should I be honest? And the cycle continues. That is why Obama always said that honesty is not just a personal choice. It is a responsibility, especially if you have influence. Especially if people look up to you. Because your honesty or your dishonesty affects more than just you. Let me talk about trust in friendship. Real friendship is built on honesty. Not polite honesty. Deep honesty. The kind where you can say, I think you are making a mistake, and your friend listens. The kind where you can admit, I am struggling, and your friend does not judge. But that only works if both people are truthful. If one person hides things, pretends things are fine, or lies to avoid conflict, the friendship becomes shallow. It looks like a friendship, but it does not feel like one. Because real connection needs truth. Obama had close friends who were honest with him. Even when he was president. They told him when they disagreed. They told him when he was wrong. And he valued that, because he knew that people who only tell you what you want to hear are not really your friends. They are just saying what is easy. True friends take the risk of honesty. They care enough to tell you the truth, even when it is uncomfortable. And if you want that kind of friendship, you have to be that kind of friend too. Now think about lies we tell to avoid pain. Someone asks, are you okay? We say, I am fine. But we are not fine. We are lonely. We are scared. We are hurting. But we do not want to burden them. We do not want to seem weak. So we lie. And they believe us. And we stay alone with our pain. Obama talked about this too. He said that vulnerability is not weakness. It is strength. Because when you are honest about your struggles, you let people in. You let them help. You let them see you. And that creates real connection. But we are taught to hide. We are taught to say, everything is great. We are taught to look strong. Especially men. Especially leaders. Obama said this was hard for him too. To admit when he was unsure. To admit when he needed help. But when he did, he felt lighter. He felt more human. And the people around him felt closer to him. Because honesty breaks down walls. Lies build them up. There is a kind of lying that happens slowly, without us noticing. It is called living a lie. This is when your whole life does not match who you really are. Maybe you stay in a job you hate because you are afraid to change. Maybe you pretend to like things you do not like because your friends do. Maybe you hide parts of yourself because you think people will not accept you. This is lying in a different way. Not with words, but with your life. And it is exhausting. Because you are always pretending. You are always performing. You never get to rest. You never get to be yourself. Obama saw this in many people. People who looked successful on the outside but felt empty inside. Because they were living someone else's idea of a good life. Not their own. And the weight of that dishonesty crushes you. Slowly. Over years. Until one day you wake up and do not recognize yourself. And you wonder, how did I get here? The answer is, one small lie at a time. One compromise at a time. One moment of not speaking your truth. But here is the hope. You can change. You can start being honest. Not all at once, but step by step. You can start with small things. Admitting a mistake. Saying no when you mean no. Saying I do not know instead of pretending. Keeping a small promise to yourself. These things feel hard at first, because we are not used to them. But they get easier. And each time you choose honesty, you feel a little more whole. A little more like yourself. Obama said that one of his biggest lessons in life was learning to be honest, even when it cost him something. Even when it was uncomfortable. Even when it made people upset. Because in the long run, honesty always wins. Not in the way we expect. Not always with rewards or praise. But in the way we feel inside. In the way we sleep at night. In the way we look at ourselves in the mirror. That is where honesty pays off. Trust is fragile. It takes years to build. And it can break in a moment. But if you protect it, if you value it, it becomes one of the most beautiful things in life. To be trusted. To trust someone. To know that your word means something. To know that people believe you. That is a kind of wealth that money cannot buy. And it all starts with one choice. To tell the truth, even when it is hard. Even when it costs you. Even when no one is watching. Obama was not perfect. He admitted that. He made mistakes. He lied sometimes. He broke promises. But he learned. And he tried to do better. He tried to teach his children. He tried to be an example. Not a perfect example. A human example. Someone who struggles. Someone who fails. But someone who keeps trying to be honest. To be trustworthy. To be whole. That is what this is really about. Not about being perfect. Not about never making mistakes. But about choosing, again and again, to be truthful. With others. And with yourself. Because that is how we grow. That is how we connect. That is how we become people we are proud to be. And it all starts so small. With one truth. One honest word. One kept promise. And then another. And another. Until slowly, your life becomes a reflection of your values. Until the person you are inside matches the person you show the world. And that is when you finally feel free.